All right, so the questions that I asked you to do yesterday were these 5, and you should have those done. I'm just going to go through them real quick here. I asked you to give me the decimal form and the fraction form. Some of them won't be in fractions, but some of them might have the circles. Okay, everybody listening? Some of them might have answers in terms of pi. So decimals versus non-decimal exact / fraction form. So what that means is if you have pi, that symbol, we know that that's a really long non-repeating decimal. So to be exact in your answer, you would leave pi as part of your answer. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about that, but I do want it to help you sort of understand what that looks like. So I'm going to show you that today, and we'll see how you did. So we'll do decimals and we'll do fractions / exact answers here. So for number 1, I'll do this in the black here. So the area of this triangle is going to be 1/2 base times height, okay? So we've got, and you tell me if this looks right, okay? So 1/2 of the base, which is 5, and the height of the triangle is 5 as well. So that area is going to be 1/2 of 25, or 12.5 centimeters what? Squared. Very good. That's the decimal form. The fraction or exact form, okay, the fraction form would be area equals 25 over 2 centimeters squared. So those are your two answers there for number 1, okay? The two types of forms for that answer. Any questions there? All right. Number 2 is a circle with radius 3 meters. So the area for a circle is pi times r squared. So the area is going to be pi times 3 squared. Now please don't square pi times 3. You're only squaring the radius. So you're just squaring the 3. So the area is pi times 9. Now we would write that in exact form as 9 pi. That's that number, 9 pi. And it's going to be meters squared. So that's going to be our exact answer. Okay? In decimal form, what you do is you just jump on your calculator and you type that all in as it shows up. So let's quit this, get that. Okay. So we would go 9 times, and you would find your pi button on your calculator. And that's going to be 28.27. And how many decimals should you go to? Usually 2. Usually 2 is a good idea. So what was that again? 28.27. Now, did I round that correctly to the second decimal place? I look at the 7. The one next to it to the right is a 4. That's under 5, so I would definitely leave that as a 7. Okay? Put meters squared, and that's your decimal answer. And 9 pi meters squared would be your exact answer. Okay? So for the most part, decimal numbers are going to be fine for you guys here at this level, okay? But if I ask for exact answers, you know what I'll be talking about. Okay, so area for a circle, again, is pi r squared here. Now, do I have r? Is r 12? What is r? R is what?
6.
R is 6 because the diameter here in this diagram is 12. So r is 6. Correct, that's 12 divided by 2. So this is going to be pi times 6 squared, or 36 pi. And we will write the pi after the number. Please don't write pi 36. Okay, it's just proper order is the number first and then the pi. So that's going to be in units squared. There's no units there. So that's our exact answer, 36 pi units squared. And of course, in the decimal form, you just tell your calculator to do 36, and you don't even have to press the times for most calculators. You can just do 36 pi, and it'll give you this number. 113.0, oh, that 9 should go up. So what's my rounded 2 decimal answer? 113.10. 113.10. And if it's to 2 decimal places, you will have to put that 0 in the second decimal place. Okay? Units squared. Awesome. Is everybody getting along okay here? You understanding this? Okay. Anybody got all 3 correct so far? At least with the decimals? Maybe the pi, what you were... Okay. I see some hands up. That's excellent. Okay, what about this one? Number 4. This is a rectangle. So the area for a rectangle is length times width. Length is usually, like we say, the longer side. So area is 7 over 2 times the width is 3 over 2. So when we multiply those, we just multiply the top numbers together and the bottom numbers together, and we get 21 over 4. Can that be reduced, simplified? Well, we can divide 21 evenly by 3 and 7, as well as 1 and 21. So can we divide 4 evenly by 3 or 7? No. So we're done here. This is going to be units squared because it's area and no units are given in the question. As far as a decimal goes, again, Mr. Calculator, or Mrs. Calculator, or Ms. Calculator, or I don't know, whatever you want to call her, him, it, will help us. How's that for uncertainty? 5.25, okay? 5.25 units squared. Okay? Now, if you want to put this in a decimal right away, that's 3.5. And this in a decimal right away is 1.5. So you could go, you could do that first if you want, and you could go 3.5 times 1.5. And look at that, gives you the same answer. So you can convert to decimals first and then do the multiplication of decimals, or you could multiply the fractions and then do the division into decimals. If you have to give both answers, it might be a good idea just to do the fractions first and then go from there. But those are your two answers. Okay, now number 5 might have been a little bit tricky because I asked you to determine which one was the base and which one is the height. And there's obviously one side that's given that we're not going to need to use. Okay, for area of a triangle is 1/2 base times height. And so which one would be the base and which one would be the height? Any ideas?
Maybe 7 base.
Okay, so maybe 7 would be the base. Okay, if 7 is the base, what's the height? 9, that's correct. Yeah. Now, if someone said, hey, I think 9's the base and 7 is the height, you'd be absolutely correct as well. Okay? That's right. The only thing you don't want to do is you don't want to use the 11.4 because the 11.4 is, if this was the base, let's say we said 11.4 was the base, then the height would be this length right here that makes a 90-degree angle from this base to the opposite vertex of the triangle. And we are not given that number. Now, can we find that number? Maybe. I don't think we're given quite enough information for that yet. But what we want to do is use the 9 and the 7. So area for a triangle is 1/2. Base, let's use your 7 and 9. Again, multiplication we talked yesterday was commutative. That means that 9 times 7 is the same as 7 times 9. So whichever one you use for the base doesn't matter. Both would be correct in this case. So area for a triangle, well, I like to do this multiplication first and then just put it over 2 and see if I can simplify from there. So what's 7 times 9? 63, right. So that's 63 over 2. Now 63 is an odd number, so it's not evenly divisible by 2. Isn't that right? So this is centimeters squared, and that's our simplified fraction form. Anybody get that? Okay. And then of course our decimal form would be, now you probably don't need to do this with your calculator, but 63 divided by 2, well 60 divided by 2 is 30. What's 3 divided by 2? 1.5. So that's 31.5. And that's going to be centimeters squared, okay? Everybody good with that?
Yes.
All right, I see many of you madly writing down all this. You're supposed to have that attempted for today, so I hope everyone did their homework last night. Okay. I learned a little bit too late in life that I need to do, a lot of times I need to do a little bit of math every day to stay up and to actually stay connected and to understand math. So you guys are in grade 9. I don't give you a whole ton of homework. We have a lot of time during class. But you need to be doing math every day if you want to learn it, if you want to remember it, if you want to do it well, and if you don't want to be completely stressed out for the rest of your life about math. So a little bit every day if you can. And so I know that life gets in the way and you can't do all of your homework every night. But if you set some time aside and you work on your homework a little bit every day, no matter what, you won't run into trouble. It's when you put off your homework for a day or 2, it becomes 3. Then you're overwhelmed and behind, and then it's a mess. So try and do a little bit every day, and that's the path to success, especially in high school math. Right? Grade 9. Honestly, you don't have a ton of homework. Grade 10 is a little bit more. Grade 11, more than that. Grade 12, more than 11. And so you got to ease into this, okay? All right, any final questions about these 5? You guys feel confident in this? Pretty confident? All right. Okay, excellent.